Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you're free to pick up your telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any issue trending. But you could introduce your own topic. Irrespective of what it is that you want to speak about, you can ask questions. If I are unable to answer, somebody else might answer or provide more information for you. We don't like too much rules, but we encourage people to be respectful to our callers and express your views. You don't have to swallow the grammar book to come on this program, but you just listen to me and you know that I do not have a command of the English language. What we encourage people to do is to communicate. The democratic process gives us that opportunity, and we have the medium, we have the via, so we could exchange ideas. And I encourage people always to try to settle issue amicably, to hold discussions. You don't have to be you win and I lose. Both of us could win. Discuss issue in our homes to tone down a little. We even encourage the government of the day. The government seems to be too hostile to people in the lower income group, the elderly, the physically challenged, disadvantaged children. The government of the day seems to be too hostile towards them. The language that the government uses, government senior ministers, the language they use is very divisive, show discord. It is not inclusive language. Some of the language that the good people, as if they're referring to a particular group of people who support them as good people. You hear them use with regularity, the greedy and the needy and etc. And now we have some of the agents sponsored by reputable companies, cooperative bank, describing people as nasty people. This language is not good. It is worse when it is used by politicians. After an election, the governments take over. And the government's supposed to seek the interests of everybody. And I dare say, particularly the marginalized, particularly the people in the lower income group, particularly the proletariats. The government's supposed to seek the interests. They are the ones that need help. When a man comes out in university and he's qualified, he has tertiary education, you don't have to bother about him much. He's supposed to come back and make jobs. I have a master's degree, a doctorate, a PhD. He's supposed to be able to return to his country and make opportunities and employ people. When he reached back in the community, he could raise the bar on the block because he's supposed to be more well-disciplined. He has information. Companies, successful companies in the country, they don't need government much. They want a tax system that is not burdensome. And I dare say our tax system is not burdensome. They want to know they have the media is relatively free. And I dare say our media is relatively free. And they want to know the justice system is independent. Then you don't have to bother with big companies or successful people. But politicians is duty bound to seek the interests of the people in the lower socio-economic grouping. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Well, as a long-time caller, and I did not call for a while, I said, let me open back.
Good to hear your voice, man.
And I was so disappointed by the former prime minister, a former prime minister of this country, for making such a mad statement. I say let me open back because I want to know if that ex-prime minister, Chairman Thomas, does not move around people in this country for him to making such a crazy statement by saying this government has done very well for the first 1 year and people are happy. When I know all on my sick bed, people is coming and saying to me they're feeling unsafe. They're feeling unsafe even where they live these days. Killing and all kind of things just start to escalate in this country. And this man saying the country is stable. So I want to know where he lives, if he living in another country. This government has been so fortunate by having such a wonderful program coming to them, like Targets and other programs coming to them where they could check themselves. I have been an ex-politician, I have been a man in the political arena for 49 years. And we never used to have such a good opportunity, myself and Sir Eric, when with the other opposition. You'll just hear people criticizing. But if you listen to this program, I want to compliment Mr. Pierre and RealFM and all Massacre. For they don't only criticize what is wrong, but they give good ideas. They're giving the government, they're making the government able to check themselves of where they're going wrong. So this government is very, very, very fortunate, and they don't recognize it. So I want to know what's wrong with this man. The man saying the country is stable, and when they ask, when he say what is done, by paying the teachers and paying the pension, that's the true chump cat. So I don't know. Other callers might be listening. This man, something is totally wrong, man. I had us to wake up. The man wake me up in my bed, man.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
And that is good, and it's good to hear your voice on the radio again. Thank you very much. Well, you know, I always encourage people not to forget our history. Mr. Thomas spent some time in prison. He was human rights lawyer. And I heard stories from some of the individuals who was in prison with him. They say when he visited them in his capacity as human rights lawyer, he asked them what they did. And they said nothing. And he said, you have to do something. Bishop is not crazy. You have to do something to be done here. So they tell him, go and ask Maurice Bishop what they did. And after he left, they said, if the fool go and ask Maurice Bishop what we do, he will come down here too. And in a little while, he was down in prison. And they asked him they asked him what you do. And he said he didn't do nothing. They say, well, we told you we didn't do nothing too. So Mr. Thomas is not a coward man, but he's very slow. He's very insensitive to the cry of those marginalized. So when Mr. Thomas speaks and says things going good, always remember, for who? Things is going good for who? And you have to understand that the National Democratic Congress always hostile towards low-income group. If you go back and see what they did in 1990, in the 2008-2013 period, and now. So whereas you hear voices crying out, the sister from Union St. Andrews, that been crying out, NDC wouldn't hear her voice. They don't care about these people. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon. Mr. Pierre, I heard us speaking about the former Prime Minister, I say about greener people smiling. He's smiling. Yet some of greener people smiling. But not the poor class of people.
I don't think a lot of people don't understand. These people don't care about that group.
They don't care about the poor class of people. Right?
Remember the Minister of Labor was laughing when individuals lost their job. They don't care. Remember the Minister of Agriculture said they are lunatics and idiots.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about this group.
They don't care about them at all. And you heard the former Prime Minister say about Greta smiling. How could you smile and be happy when they take away the bread and butter from you? So they take it away from both the husband and wife, and both of them sit at home watching one another. They cannot they don't have the money to give children a proper education, to send them to school, to pay the boss to go to school. And you come on a program and say the Greener people happy, right? Well, I don't know if the Greener people is one set of people, only them who benefiting, and the rest is
I guess when he's speaking about NDC, hardliners.
According to the Minister for Sympathy, well, the good
people.
The good people.
Yeah.
Right?
That is what he's speaking about.
That's what he's speaking about. When you look at the situation right now, cost of living gone up. Right? Everything you go in shop today, you pay $20 for something. Tomorrow you go, you spend $22, $23. Everything going up. Look again, you have to pay more for water. You have to pay more.
They raise the price of water.
Everything water.
And they raise the price of sugar.
Everything.
And they drop the price on condoms.
Right? And you send home people. Right? People that could have still buy a 2 pound sugar, they can't buy it now. And you still come in that program and say, the greater smiling. Mr. Payne, what I recognize right now is to get promotion and to get award, you're going to speak nice about the government. The former president came and a program and speak about people smiling. I was 2 or 3 days afterwards, he get award. He get award. What was the award for? Speaking about the goodness, about the people smiling. When the people are suffering, they are going through hell because of the policies of this government. Right? What is the purpose of a government? What is the purpose of government? Is to make people suffer. The purpose of government is to make the life better, make environment better. Yes, we know the government cannot employ everyone. You understand? What the little that you could do is reach out and help people. And when you help people, if more money goes spending in a country, is the poor class of people in any country, Mr. Pierre, or to spend the majority of money in a country? It's majority of money. Just give people money in their hand, and you will see them down. Think they buy everything to put in the home. Right? But when you take all that from them, what happens? It affects the businessman. And I always say in life, okay, you have a business in where you live in. 200 person walk in, and they lose their work. What happened to you? Your business lose revenue too. Right? Your business lose revenue because they cannot come and buy, and you will not credit them because they don't work. How are they going to pay you? Right? I'm saying thing is hard, and it's getting harder and harder every day.
Yes, thank you. One have to understand. When Mr. Towers speaking about who's smiling, they're not speaking about you. He's speaking about the members of the NDC. The Prime Minister initiated restorative justice. Restorative justice is tantamount to political vengeance. The Prime Minister, the ex-Prime Minister Tillman Thomas, he says rebalancing. One of their henchmen says realignment is decolonization. This is the kind of words that is being used by the top people in the National Democratic Congress. And then you hear others speaking in the same manner. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my brother.
Baby Jesus will be speaking this evening. He will be having a national address to the whole country. So listen to Baby Jesus this evening. Mr. Pierre, when you talk about people in the lower bracket, those people are getting the 1,500 people who are getting the 2,000, the $5,000. That means people in the upper bracket. You say they don't care about the people in the lower bracket. These people is people in the upper bracket? Yes or no?
Because I don't know who you're speaking about.
I'm speaking about those people who can have afford to get computers and things in the house. They will be getting connection. Because they'll be getting a laptop or cheat over.
Who initiated that program, Color?
Who initiated that program? The program set initiated by the NDC last week.
Color, who initiated that program?
The present government initiated.
Color, this is not a program of the present government.
It is a program of who?
Color, this program is not a program of the NDC. The NDC doesn't think so.
Mr. Pierre,
that is a program they met there, initiated, and they signed it and implemented.
Mr. Pierre,
they didn't start this program. They would have never think that way. NDC doesn't think that way, Color.
Well, Mr. Pierre, the past government, they had 9 years and 4 months to initiate it. What they do? They stand up and they watch and they laugh at it. They never do it. No, you come here and tell me they initiated. They had time to do
Color, when you want to say these things, you have to find out. You could even ask the government. You could even ask Deacon.
I would like to ask the past government why they did not do it. Mr. Pierre, those NFP people have a saying about that is government do that. The government had 22 years to do all those things what they do now, what NDC do now. They do nothing. All they do just stand up and talk they talk for 22 years and they do nothing. The last 9 years make it worse. Well, they do the
Color, you remember Color? You must remember between 2008 and 2013.
Yes.
How you mean when NDC had the country in free fall, when they was selling property to pay current expenditure, when they was selling property that did not belong to them, when they was selling shares that did not belong to them, when they prorogued parliament, you forget that period in NDC?
I don't forget nothing, but listen to me right now. We're talking about present. We don't go back.
You that go back in.
I go back because I have to tell you what the amount of time they take to do it and they don't do it.
So now what you believe about restorative justice, Color? You ever thought about it?
What the man was speaking about the slave trade, the slave thing where they find justice.
No, Color. Color, the Prime Minister said, Dick Mitchell said, when he was in the interview with Tobago, with the two smiling journalists, the woman and the man, I don't know which one impressed him more. He said, we campaign on a policy of transformation, but it is not transformation. It is more restorative justice.
That means
what do you understand by that?
The interest of black people. That is why he's trying to get the vengeance for the black people.
Color, most of that statement.
You and them Englishmen make us slave. That is your expression.
Color, that statement shock a lot of NDC, you know. I have not met no NDC yet that want to face that statement, you know. That is why Tillman Thomas says rebalancing. And another one says realignment.
Mr. Tillman Thomas is the past. We going forward. Mr. Pierre, the past government, you said this and they said that to pay salary. But the NMP government, what they did,
they employed 3,000. They employed 3,000 young people in the Imani program.
So that gives them the right to sell property and share the money.
What property?
That gives them the right. They employ 3,000 people, so that gives them the right now to sell the Green property and they share the money.
Which property they sold?
They sell the passport for $200,000 US.
And they share the money?
They put $150,000 in the church. They give the
so you don't know, Color,
and they share the rest.
Color, you don't know Deacon lie about that?
You
know the Prime Minister lie?
He lied.
You didn't hear when they asked the Prime Minister to put the proof, bring in the proof, he backed down? The Prime Minister lie.
Well, he had the proof already.
He lied, Color.
The man find money and they have transfer for the money.
Color.
They sell the money and they share it between them. You get some, how much you get?
Color didn't lie.
How much you get out of the 140,000?
All right, Color, thank you. You know, sometimes we have to try to verify some facts and deal with it. And all these things are coming about because the NDC been hiding away from the press. You see the Prime Minister suckling around and speak to press people that he believes he have control on. And what the Prime Minister is doing is diluting the press. Yes, caller, welcome. All right. What he's really doing, he causing these journalists and them to lose credibility. He diluting the significance of these journalists. They shine away from asking him relevant and necessary questions. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. Good morning.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, my brother.
How are you?
Great, man.
I find this call out call you to other man.
Yeah, but it's good sometime to, try to redirect him to get the truth.
Yeah, but you don't really know what he's saying. You want to make the case.
Yeah, some things he have it kind of muddled up.
What do I call it to ask you? What about the bushing program? What did you need?
Well, I don't think the government interested in that. And again, people have to understand, the government was attacking this debushing program. They attacked the Imanis. The government is not interested in that. You see, it's a strange. We supported. People support a government that the policy is not in the interest of the ordinary man. I know it's going to take some time for people to come to that reality.
Well, you have other people right now in this country that are education, man, because they don't know what they call any program.
Yeah, I guess,
Yeah. They want a lot of, if you listen the program too good, they will know what to say and what not to say, because some of them sick and they don't know what they're about.
It's because even the Prime Minister, it's difficult for NDC members who want to defend NDC. It's very difficult because the Prime Minister is not giving them, the Prime Minister and the team is not giving them the information. Yeah? Yes, so it's very difficult for, look at my partner, Culture Man, take a hiatus. Take a hiatus from the radio because it's difficult for him to defend NDC. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yes, Miss, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, at this program of yours is not J Popot program. This program is a program to educate people and to let them know what is taking place in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. You see this man, what always coming and talk, I don't know if he's working on his senses, if he have to go back to school and start to read from the ABC book, go up, and for the teacher and them to teach him to read and to educate himself. This man doing a little too much. Enough is enough, Mr. Pierre. It's time that you should put your foot down. I find you letting that man get away with too much thing. Too much. He no figures, he no money, he no who thief. A thief no a thief. He know everything about Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. He should be the Prime Minister. But tell him, one day, you know, they'll say
Congote.
Congote. Tell him.
One day, Congote.
One day, Congote.
Yes, caller.
It's time for that man to come out on that radio and stop in nonsense. Let people what could educate, to talk facts, and for people to listen and to learn from it, not to take things in garbage bag.
Yes.
Have a blessed day, Mr.
Yes, thank you. Sometimes it is very difficult for members of the National Democratic Congress, people who like to call, people who like to defend the party. Every party has people who like to defend the party. The National Democratic Congress is not even providing information for these people, and they're sitting down and plan lies. And we and other programs have, shown the lies that they are telling, and as a result of that, it's difficult to defend the program. Mr. Tillman Thomas went to the prison. He was a human rights lawyer, I heard. And the guys told him what was the position. He did not believe them. And he found himself in jail with them. So he's a very slow learner where these things is concerned. But in addition to that, don't expect Mr. Thomas to be upset of what is going on. That is NDC. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, I still want to listen to the second caller. Whether it's saying things what you feel to say. And this man, he just speaking like he don't really fall and then he's get a show. He just speaking. And Mr. Pierre, he talking about NMP was there for 20-something years, what he did. If you remember the transformation of electricity in the rural area, water to all to homes, because what people always happen in the rural area, people start go and bring water our 2 miles. What NMP did, they bring water service right to the people home. Again, look at the transformation of Green again. At the bus terminal, where the buses park up in the market. From the market, they put it by the Esplanade. And look at the bus terminal now. Look at what happened now. People could stand there comfortable and wait for a bus. When you look again at the transformation of sports in the country, National Stadium, the ministerial complex, where when you go into the business, you have to go all different ministries, where they put all ministry and all different departments under all ministry under in one compound. To make it much easier for people to get through to what they're going to do. Look again in development of other things in money program. One of the program the government did, we could stand out in the Caribbean, and other countries were looking at that program to take place in the country because of the vision and of NDP government in power at that time. Right? NDP always develop people. They always care about people. I'm going to make sure that the people are going to life develop. What is see happening now? Whenever NDC came, they always come to undo the good and to bring people move back. But they have a slogan say forward. How could you go forward when you discriminate against people, when you victimizing people? How could we go forward? How could we go forward with one people benefiting and the other people catching the hell? Mr. P, have a blessing.
Yes, scholar, and I think you cannot blame the NDC for not stating what the NNP do. You have to blame the NNP for that. It's so easy to react when somebody challenges you, but the NNP needed to be more proactive and explain to the clients, the members, what the party was doing over the years. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
When at the program I'm listening, you saying when somebody make a comment, we have to be objective of it and all them things. Who give me that? It can't be me. Because I listened this man tag the one before the two, and you just listen him say them old crack on them, and then when you sit down on the radio station and people say things and go and lock up 100 stations, I hope you have money to pay for it,
I'm financially embarrassed. I'm suffering from monetary instability. Can't pay.
Well, when them kind of people and them come with their whole lies, what to cut them off?
Well, the party, the NDC has been telling so much lies that it's difficult for some of the members. They have things muddled up because the NDC sat down and planned lies.
You forget Dr. Mitchell have this laptop to give children. Talk about Dr. Mitchell, talk about laptop. With the laptop, when Dr. Mitchell get the laptop, he give a lot of people internet in their home. Who can pay? He had pay, and who could pay? Pay. You check it out. I see these people and then come with their thing. What Dr. Mitchell continue with? I have a girlfriend, she children, 3 of she children have they, she just tell me, I don't know what they touch in it. She said she don't find any walking. But a lot of children, I hear a man was calling a Shaggy station and saying the child go to school with their laptop and he take, some children take it. Mr. Pierre, them things and them, because you know COVID was outside there and them children could not go to school. So that is what helped them.
Yeah, they speed up the process because of COVID-19.
Yes, and then them people and them children and them help themselves to go do common entrance, you know, with that same laptop what going on, what they saying about NDC put there.
Really and truly, they don't know about this program. It just happened under their time.
The man and now who the people and them what they beating them out inside Parliament day. Dr. Mitchell fight to do that, you know, the NDC beat him up for him not to build that building.
Yeah.
And them screaming and silent and curse it, you know. They don't do it and praise it, you know. They cursing it, you know. When they go inside, they don't respect, you know. All this thing and them, you could call road. I listen when that Prime Minister come inside there, we can live by concrete and steel. I hear him in my 2 ears, not somebody tell me, you know, when he campaigning, you know. We can live by concrete and steel. And then when these people then come and giving you all this old talk and them, you listening them and before you start the program, you're starting to throw what no which one was here, you know.
No, I always believe we have to respect one another. You don't have to agree with one another.
What this man coming and say they make him, you will make them lock down 100 stations for saying old talk.
All right. Okay.
And you have to stop him when he cut him off. You afraid to cut him off?
And you see how the man getting you all to follow him when he say to you on the program.
I'm not following him. I'm calling you and wake you up because you know.
Well, I wake up.
Right.
Yes, so, you know, the exchanges are encouraging, and we always encourage people to express themselves. The number to call is 442-0175. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I really want to compliment you on your program. I'm a religious listener. You know, I just already get some information. You know, so I just want to compliment you and keep on doing the great work. We as Grenadians need to be informed with the truth and nothing else. I have a concern concerning our flag. As of yesterday, there was a vigil for the young man who died on the beach over the weekend. And there's a particular restaurant down on the south that put the gay pride flag over our national flag and disrespecting our national flag. I am very much concerned about that, and I hope they make an apology, and I hope the Minister of Security make an apology concerning that. Secondly, it hurt my heart. I went to Grand Dance on Monday, and on my way down and on my way up, I see some aged people walking on the side of the road. They could be late 60s, early 70s. And if our government is caring and concerned about our elderly people, I know you'll say they don't care, but these people need to be on the seed program. They need to be on the safety net program. And this work, what they're doing, there's some younger people should be doing that. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, I don't know when people are going to come to the realization that the NDC don't particularly care about people in the lower income group. They may do a little thing now and then. But from the time I know about NDC, I know of no policy that the National Democratic Congress have that ever target the people in the lower income group. I know of no policy that the NDC have to generate serious employment. None. Even during the COVID-19. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello, sir.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm a first-time caller, but I'm my listener all through the years.
Thank you very much.
I am one who met you in Sotes. I'm from St. Max, and I spoke to you, and that I get to know who is you.
Yeah.
And the program is a very wonderful program. But one thing that offends me much is that same man that always come in and contradict with you. And according to how many some people will say, we just have to flush him, as how we used to speak with Jericho, flush him before we reach this same stage. It offends me. Mr. Pierre, I left after the program for 2 weeks away from listening because of that same man, you know. And I just come back listening again. So let us try and do something better. We have to learn something from people, but not stupidness what this man speaking there. Okay, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I know of no programs that the National Democratic Congress have that targets, that try to alleviate the challenges that people have. And when they meet a program existing, they always go after it. Remember the NDC take out $10 during the 2008-2013 period from workers in the road? They drop the payment. They do it again, I understand. In 2008-2013, the NDC, although they promised to give people $400, they removed the majority of them from the seed program. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
There's a caller that calls your program very regular. And I'm wondering if that caller does not listen to himself and think. Whenever that caller calls, he always on the previous government. When you ask him a question or any question, he cannot answer. He's going back on the previous government. A while ago, he was speaking about, and every time he comes, is about, the previous government, 23 years in office. The previous government, 23 years in office. You ask him a question. What happened to the period 2008 to 2013? He cannot answer. And that reminds me of when I go to the city and I see, and there are people selling things like cashew, sapodilla, and other things. And they would say, nice lady, any cashew for you today? $5 a bag. And I ask them that question, Mr. P. What was your contribution to the growth of the sapodilla tree or the growth of the cashew tree? Miss, you can ask me that. I said, yes, you're selling cashew, you're selling sapodilla. How did you help that sapodilla to grow, that tree to grow, so it could bear fruits for you to harvest and come and sell? It's like that with the NDC government. They meet a pregnant treasury, as they said. They pay dock workers. They pay gratuity. You hear they say they give nurses $500 on their salary. They take $2,000 on theirs, and they do all what they had to do with the money. The question is, how much did they contribute to the pregnant treasury that they meet? Who left a pregnant treasury for them? And they wouldn't. When you ask them that question, Mr. Pierre, they wouldn't answer. You do all that with the money you got. On whose account was that money there for you to get to use? But they're not saying it, they're not acknowledging it, but yet still, they come and tell you, the past administration this, and the past administration the other. And, come on, let us be reasonable. Let us be reasonable, if it's at least for once in our life. For once in our life. The past administration did some things. I'm not saying that they was perfect. I'm not saying that they did everything well. But they did some things, and we must acknowledge that. And I'm sick and fed up of this 23 years, only 23 years. Eh? In 1 year, NDC reap more than what they sow. 1 year, NDC don't sow nothing, but they reap what other people plant. They reap what other people plant. And I can't see why their supporters would not acknowledge that. Other people sow. It grow. Look what they're reaping.
Well, they don't have
they
nothing
still come back and
good
tell you
to
23
show.
years. 23 years, they don't do nothing. I mean, come on. As a people, we too hypocrite. And Mr. Pierre, when these people come on the program and they're talking this nonsense, cut them off. Don't give them too much airplay.
You see,
have
that
nothing
is,
to tell the people.
Caller, that is one of the challenge with the NNP. During the campaigning time, the NNP was not confronting them. They had a free run. They promised to make everybody permanent. And the people believe because they did not have this information. So it is good for people to share the information with their children, in their home, in the neighbors, with the rum shop, and say what is the difference between the two political parties.
Mr. Pierre, even though the NMP PR was not out there working, Grenadians know, they saw what was done by NMP. They saw what was done by NMP, even though the NMP PR was not operational, it was not working, it was not functional, whatever way we want to put it. But Grenadians to the heart, to the conscience, knew what NMP did.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to wait until for NMP to tell them. They knew.
Okay.
They knew what NMP was doing. So when people come and say about, the PR this and the NMP PR this, that just turned me off. It's not that they didn't know. They know what NMP was doing, and they know very well NMP did a lot. They know that.
Right.
So come and say, the PR wasn't working and NMP PR, NMP. No, Grenadians know to their heart NMP did a lot. But you know what? We like.
Yeah, there were some massive promises, and if the promises was not neutralized, then the crowd went.
Not fulfilled. Empty promises not fulfilled. Now they come in and say that NMP PR was not working when they know.
And that is why.
And
this is the reason, irrespective of what the arguments that the caller is advancing, this is the reason for discussion among your own people. When the caller makes his statement, that is time for you all to discuss it in your homes. You all have young voters. Discuss it with your people. Show the public what the situation is. It makes no sense getting angry with the caller. Yeah. Thank you.
And another thing is that every time that caller come, even though this is on one trend,
the caller is a wise caller.
I am wondering if he's not paid to do that.
Ma'am, the caller is a smart caller. He calls the program.
I don't call that smart, Mr. Pierre.
Listen to me a while. He calls the program. He make a statement. 5 or 6 callers after call and discuss what he discussing. And even if I'm on another point, that gets sidetracked.
So that's why I'm telling you, Mr. Pierre.
Well,
you have to cut him off because
it's not me.
He's trying to disrupt your program.
What happened is the other callers are calling, call and make your statement and ignore the caller.
So that's why I'm telling you, you now have to take control of him.
No, I give caller.
Of him. Don't allow him to disrupt
caller,
your
look
program.
at how much time we spend discussing another caller opinion.
No, I'm just telling you that. I'm just saying that so in future you know what to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have to be tolerant to dissenting views. People don't have to agree with you. But somebody calls the program for 3 minutes, and then 5 other people call and spend 3 minutes, that's 15 minutes, discussing what the person said. And that's the challenge we have. Rather than promoting what you want to say. If you want to give me a list of the things that your political party did, that was good. Now we have this holiday, school holidays approaching. It's another important time. We have a government that attacks disadvantaged children. We have a government that attacks the marginalized. We have a government that take $150 from the elderly. And sometimes you're not hearing people speaking about that. The government takes away from disadvantaged children. One of the callers said they don't go into school in his area, so they don't need the money. The next caller say, let her go and pong stone by the river. They seems to be rejoicing that $150 be removed from the elderly. We have this sister from Union who says, I have Parkinson's disease. The government removed the money from me. And you're not hearing comments on that. Yes, caller, welcome.
Afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Do you think all the NDC supporters know what is going on in this country?
Somebody hardline, you see, there are some NDC supporters that are hardliners.
But
they know what is going on.
They know what's going on, and when you the other side say something, they want to eat out your head.
Yes, it's a means, sister. Sister.
They can understand
Sister.
that they believe it's true, they not. I want to eat out your head. I want to arrogant with you. These people are them sick, man. They're sick, man.
Okay.
People Kit Mitchell, they run down what is what they don't say about Kit Mitchell, but what are going on? But you see, God is in control. Good night. Afternoon, Mr. P.
Yes, but God is not a pipe that you just go and open when you want. God gives you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and He gives you an opportunity to make decision, and you're going to stand the consequences of the decision you make. Remember, the people asked God for a king, and He gave them a king. So you had an opportunity in election to vote the party you want. And the party won election fair and square. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
How are you?
Great, man.
Mr. Pierre, concerning the boat bridge at Paul's, well, I think...
they start to fix it?
No, they started, but listen to the ugliness. Now, they removed some of the boat there, and they're saying no, they have to wait until they get material. Until they get material to...
The lumber yard don't have material?
Well, I don't know. And it's worse now. Better they have left the bridge where people could have passed and go over the school children and all the thing, and people complaining. It's more risky now.
Well, it says about 8 pieces of wood they needed for that.
Yes, and somebody living right across by the runway there. They have to make the whole wrong to go back there. That don't make sense. So if they had to go and wait until they get the materials and remove everything and do the work.
Well, you know the National Democratic Congress does do things in a very unorthodox, dramatic, and crazy way.
Yeah, that's
You're not supposed to
you.
be surprised. You know, that is one of the challenges you have with this political party. And I think because...
They just unpack the bridge and they leave it like that and there are materials. In the first place, why they went there and did it? Wait until they get the materials. This is not right for the people in
But they must say we're making noise about it, so take out the wood.
Take out the wood, not taking out the wood, you know. It's more risky now. People could have passed with a little baggage and things, but it's risky now. And I want the government to get that clear. That message had to go wrong now. We have to stand up with the people in Paul's and surroundings about that. It's more risky now, Mr. Pierre. Okay, have a good evening.
Yes, you know, this boat bridge, you have a bridge there and it's just, you have to do some maintenance work. And all they have to get is to get the wood from the lumber yard. From the time that boat is done, they could have bring the wood from Trinidad if you don't have it. in Grenada. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Well, what I heard this lady just today have me puzzled. I can't see no sensible person is going to take off the board and the bridge and then go look for the board to put back.
But a lot of things NDC doing don't make sense.
I don't. NDC not so stupid.
When they cut down Belvedere and not make the plan banner, that
time
makes
they were
sense.
stupid. That time they were stupid. But I don't think they're so stupid now.
You don't find it get worse?
No. Get worse in that respect. You know, a lot of people are calling and condemning the gentleman. You know, a lot of people, and that doesn't mean I support the gentleman at all. 90% of what the gentleman say, I don't support it. Let me make that upfront. I don't support it. But I don't argue with him. Keep on arguing with him, than argue with him. Because you get nothing out of it. And once your lines are open, he's going to continue calling. No. Do you know that a lot of the NMP, who was NMP supporters, voted for NDC this election gone? What caused NDC to win the election? Because of the promises that NDC made. They voted. I was certain up to the day, up to when they start calling numbers, I was certain that NMP would have won the election. If I had $1 million to bet, I would have bet it.
I would not have bet on it.
But I am one of the most surprised persons to know that NMP lost the election. It hurted me, but I have to understand it and I will live with it. I have to live with it. But I'm saying a lot of persons fell for the offer that NDC gave. And today, NMP is out of it. A lot of persons that were supposed to vote for NMP voted for NDC because of the problem.
That is the purpose of election. And
that
once
is
you
right,
go in an election, you could lose it.
Yes.
You can be overconfident is one of the biggest weakness in any election.
And I took knock with
you get complacent, you get overconfident.
I took knock with people go away because a gentleman who was in charge of programs for W told me when we come back in power, and I say, well, what stupid you're talking? You have a job to be done. You have the materials for it. You have money passed for it. You're telling me when you come back in power. A NMP tell me that on a piece of road here. Why are you waiting for when you come? Start the road. If you don't finish it by an election, start the road because you have the material, you have the things. A man that was in front of our work tell me that when we come back in power.
That is complacency, my brother. And you know, anytime you take things for granted or you're just complacent, this is what happened and it's good lessons for people
and
to
this
learn.
thing hurt me up to now.
But this thing must stop with you.
Because we had it.
Yeah, but caller, these are lessons that people learn. And
I learned it already.
And one of the challenges we have, we don't look at the policies of party and the law that political parties offer to attract undecided voters. And then we crying, spoiled milk. Yeah.
NMP saw me go in the minister's office.
But we right to the end, so
yeah.
we have to.
Do you know that they vex with me for that?
Yeah. Yes, we back to almost to the end of the program now. So thank you, caller. And we have to spend a few seconds to remind people that this is a long holiday for your school children. Based upon the policies of the government and the government insensitive attitude towards disadvantaged children, marginalized people, low-income people, parents, this long holiday, 12, 13 weeks, is important that you pay attention to your children, particularly those that is entering secondary schools. They could get left big time. More than 70% of the children that exit school do not meet the minimum requirements. And those that succeed would depend quite a lot on the efforts of the parents. So maybe Another time we'll spend some time on children education because we run out of time today. And we want parents to be extremely careful. You have to make certain that when your child exits school, that they acquire, that they meet, that they have the basic requirement that makes them competitive on the market. We come to the end of the program and we want to thank you for being with us. Yeah? Oh, sorry. We have some time? We have some time? Yes, sorry. So it's very important for parents to understand that you have to put effort in your children's education. Don't depend on the government. Don't depend on the school. You have to take the bull by the hand. You have to be self-motivated. The government has ended the issue of grades in school. So schools may not give lessons anymore. Because some of these schools give lessons because of bragging rights. And that song, that is like a motivator for the children in their school to do well. So now you may find people not bothering to give lessons. You're going to find children just going through the motion. It's a question of up and out. And the few people, about 15 or 20% of the people, children that is successful after 13 and a half years in school. And the government don't have the answer. And I honestly believe that the government don't truly care about the people who fall in the lower income group. I say that based upon the actions of the government over the years. Because you could just say things, but you have to be cognizant of what people do. And based upon what the government is doing, I don't think the government will change. I don't have much confidence in the Minister of Education. I don't believe he will increase productivity in school. That is what is important. Productivity in school. And I don't believe the Minister of Education will increase productivity. So it falls squarely in the hands of the parents to make the difference for your children. We come to the end of the program. Thank you very much.